With the release of the Borderlands 4 first look trailer, I've been spending way too much time going frame by frame for this trailer and just taking a look at every single little detail. There are a few things that stood out to me. First off, I have to say the bandits and this lady at the beginning of the trailer, this spider looking lady, looks absolutely unreal. It just looks insane. She's probably going to be a mini boss. What is her skill set? I have no idea, but I'm completely nervous about it. If you've seen videos on this channel, you kind of know that what my idea with Borderlands 4 is going for this cyberpunk style feel, kind of in that era to where it's still broken down. But there are a few things that I noticed that are pretty interesting. So first off, if we look closely to all the Vault Hunters, as we know, grappling hooks are going to be introduced this time around. Traversal is going to be completely changed and reworked for Borderlands 4. And I think this is a great thing. I know a lot of games are improving their movements right now, and I think Borderlands 4 should follow suit. I also do know with Borderlands 3, Gearbox has recognized that they didn't go too far out of their comfort zone with new mechanics for the title. And I really think Borderlands 4 is going to push this because a lot of the community has talked about it throughout Borderlands 3's history. There were a lot of changes from 1 to 2 to 3, but not anything too crazy. We had sliding, we had the ability to slide in open lootable containers, we had the ground slam and things like that. But as we know, with the grappling hook coming, you can actually see the grappling hook attached to the arms of all the Vault Hunters in numerous of the scenes. So is this going to come by default and all of them are going to have it, or are we going to collect it at some point throughout the story and then eventually be able to use it? One thing that was super interesting to me, when we do see the grappling hook scene in this video, if you look at the arm and you look at the move set that's about to be used, the arm is actually the arm of the big brute guy, this Viking looking guy. This guy is super interesting to me. Originally, I thought it was a Siren. I thought this was a Siren's ability, but this is the melee character's ability. And as you guys can see, he's somewhat of an elemental style character. He has either fire or ice. It seems interesting because they pull out both of them and maybe you can pick which one you want to throw and then he throws it. So I think his skill sets are going to revolve around elemental melee damage. You also see him do a ground slam. That's probably standard between all characters, but you can totally notice that this is his yellow arm right here using the grappling hook and pulling himself up. Then he throws a device, whips out 2 elemental axes and throws the fire one. It's super insane here. So we know that that is probably one of his abilities. Now, when it comes to the Siren of the group, we can see it in multiple scenes. There's this plant looking creature, and in numerous scenes, not only do you just see this plant creature, but you also see this plant creature behind the Siren Vault Hunter. So this shows me that this is going to be specifically the pet style character, which is interesting to me. Have a Siren with the pet abilities. We do know this from Borderlands 2 and 3. There's some lore. We have so many different abilities for the Sirens, like phase lock, phase shift, etc. But we do know that there is another ability that Sirens can have, and that's manipulating plants, manipulating things like that. So I think that's what's going to be coming for Borderlands 4 is this specific move set for the Sirens, because you can kind of tell that this is a Siren's pet. I mean, that's just what it seems like. Now, when it comes to the NPCs that we do see in the trailer, we see Zane, or at least this seems to be Zane. It has to be. It's a digiclone. And then we see what looks like Marcus. This has to be Marcus, in my opinion. I really feel like that's Marcus. We also see this guy. I have no idea who this is. No, I'm just kidding. This claptrap. Hey, how you doing, claptrap? And this got me thinking a little bit more. We are going to a planet we have never been before. Elpis is getting teleported and put into the space of this planet, as well as the main, or one of the main antagonists for Borderlands 4 is the Timekeeper. What I think may be the case for Borderlands 4 is we're going to be in an alternate universe. The developers have stated that these are all new Vault Hunters, but I do think that this may be either we're going forward or back in time, or we're going to a parallel universe, an alternate universe of one that's already existing, and you're having all these characters. So like I said, you see Marcus, you see Claptrap, we see a form of Zane. Are we going to see Moxie? Are we going to see Jacobs? We're going to see Ellie or Scooter? We're going to see any of the previous Vault Hunters from the titles. We don't know, but it seems pretty interesting to me to kind of think of that concept to where we might not just be going forward and back in time. We might be going on a completely different plane in existence and be in an alternate universe. So it seems super interesting. Maybe these are different versions of characters we've known from the past in the franchise, and this is just them hanging out in an alternate universe. Super interesting to me. I don't know how that's going to work out, but it's kind of these things that I've been kind of thinking about as I go slowly through this trailer. There's so much to dissect in this trailer. I just can't wait till we get more information overall. The worlds look beautiful. They look massive. Now, when we talk about the planets and worlds, we do know that big thing Borderlands 4 wants to push is this new open world concept where the planets are going to be seamless. There's going to be little to no loading screens, and every single thing you see in the distance is not a backdrop, but it's a playable space that you can actually get to. Now, who knows what this actually means and the extent of this wording and the extent that Borderlands 4 is going to go to. But what I think may be the case, and I could be wrong, but these are just theories. As you guys know, we're working on a small trailer here, a few teasers. One of my theories here is instead of like we've had before in the franchise is so many different planets to go to, I think we're only going to have a few planets. I think we're only going to have a few planets that we can go to, but these planets are going to be so insanely huge. And when we travel, we can travel to different biomes and different regions on this planet. So instead of going to different planets, as you guys know, we go to Necrotafeo, we go to Pandora, we go to Eden 6, planets like that from Borderlands 3. But I think maybe in 4, instead of going to so many different planets, we're going to be just going to different regions on 1 to 2, maybe 3 planets. So instead of this traversal of, around the galaxy, we're going to be traversing on this huge, diverse planet that's going to have so much livable space in it in different biomes, different areas. And that's kind of what I think Borderlands 4 is going to be leaning more towards. Again, like I've talked about, my broken record here, but I really think they're going to be pushing on the sci-fi aspect, sci-fi era where, it's futuristic, but it still has that gritty graininess of the apocalypse and things broken up. It just kind of seems that way with, all these like glyph style writing in the background and these huge towers and huge cities that look, cyberpunk-esque style. So it's just interesting to me to see and think about these things. But I do think this Brute guy overall is actually just a melee based character. That's what I think. But it's interesting because then you have the Vault Hunter who's on the far left, and we do have a scene of him using what seems to be one of his abilities where he pulls out dual blades. So I think melee weapons are going to be coming back. I think they're going to put him in a dedicated slot. I really hope they do. I hope it's not just an alternate melee. I hope they have a dedicated slot for it and they have a small pool for melee weapons. I really think that would be interesting if they implemented it and did it the right way, but I do not know. Again, guys, these are just theories. I'm getting super excited for Borderlands 4, and as we work our way up through this with all the little pieces of information and lore that we have, let me know what you guys are most excited for Borderlands 4, what you hope doesn't come back to the franchise, and what you hope actually makes it back in. I'm super excited, and as always, guys, stay happy, stay hyped, and have a beautiful day.